Hey, what's up everybody? We are back with some awesome content, and we are going to start off doing what I think is the most important skill for new people, especially white and blue belts, to really master on the mat, and that is to stop people getting past your legs when you're on the bottom. You're going to end up on the bottom a lot, especially if you don't have a good judo or wrestling background when you come in, which most people don't. So let's have a look how to superpower our guard. Let's get started with one of the most basic but easy things to do, heavy legs. So when you start your jiu-jitsu journey, sooner or later, some other white belt or something will put their arm under your leg and then wrench your leg past you. Okay, it's a great pass. I still use it to this day, even at black belt. However, when he puts his arm under that leg, I can do what's called a heavy leg. So now I try to make my left heel to right shoulder a straight line, and now I'm so much harder to actually tip. But I can't just stay here, because eventually he will. James, strong guy, he pushes past. So watch what we do if we do a heavy leg, okay? I go heavy leg, and then I shuffle back, and then get my other weapons involved. Because don't forget, he's dominating one leg, but you still have three. That brings us to kind of tip two. Use what you can, not what he's pinned. So many times, say if James cuts across my knee with one of his knees here, so many times people worry about the leg that's pinned and what's happened. They forget they've got 1, 2, 3. So all I need to do, for instance, is bring those 3 limbs in, and he'll still trying to pass, but that will let me get my guard back, okay? So use what you can, not what you don't have, all right? The third thing we like to do and teach our students here at my academy is this hot potato drill. So I get a buddy who can work with me and try to pass my guard just loosely. It's just a drill for me, not as much a passing drill for him, although you can certainly build to that. And I just keep changing weapons. So James stands up and he tries to start passing my guard, and I start making sure that all 4 of my limbs have a contact point, whether I'm doing an open guard or a spider or a leg lasso. I always make sure my feet are somewhere, no matter what guard I'm doing. Reverse De La Riva. You could play a De La Riva. It wouldn't really matter, like this. As long as I'm constantly moving, eventually I'm gonna catch the guy out and I won't be caught out. But I'm always trying to use all 4 of my limbs and continually change. Because if I just try to hold James static, let's say from here, so reverse De La Riva, sort of spider combo, eventually he'll learn to solve this problem and he'll move me around and pass my guard, right? Here, okay, and get past into a pressure pinning position. So by changing my guard constantly, I'm wiping the chessboard anytime my buddy starts to develop his piece as well, okay? So then after you've learned that, you just want to start having a look at a couple principles. So one of the easiest principles of your guard, okay, is to put structure between people, all right? So no matter what guard you're doing, you always try to have some form of structure between people. Okay, so you imagine, okay, he's passing my guard. Here, make sure you've got some form of structure between. Okay, it could be as simple as this, to minimize his ability to close the gap. Okay, if he was on his knees, for instance. It could be when I'm playing Z or knee shield, having my knee here. Okay, substance between us. It could be very little substance, but I'll give you an extreme example here. Even if he was standing and going to pass my guard and say I just had that lapel, but even this, if he goes to pass my guard and stuff here, just this will be enough for me to bring my guard back into action. So as long as I've got some form of structure between us, things are going to work really well, okay? So the last drill that you really want to do is just make sure you are extremely good at using both of your legs on both sides. We call this the crossing over drill. So you see when he goes for the basic pressure pass that we started this video with, and he sort of comes here, you know, grabs, passes, we all do it, it works great, it's awesome. But instead of going for a heavy leg and a shuffle, I can also angle my hips, sacrifice this leg here, and now bring this right leg over. You'll notice I sacrifice the leg. Rather than reinforcing it, I sacrifice it and bring my knee to the ground, okay? So these are all easy tips that we can use when people are trying to pass our guards, okay? We use both legs on both sides. one tool that's super underrated, and I'll use James on the bottom to demonstrate it, is stiff arms. Okay, just please do not confuse the term stiff arm with nearly straight arm, because you really need to have them locked out. So if James is on the bottom, you know, I've got quite a few pounds on James. So as I'm going to pass his guard, he can actually use his hands quite well to stop a pin. So say as I'm coming this way, if he can get his way, even with my 100 kilos leaning on him, man, he can hold me up. Now, if he bent his arms, it's a different story. It's kind of like as if I was doing push-ups and I needed a rest. Resting here is easy. Here is extremely hard. The more bent I am, the harder, okay? So make sure leverage isn't working against you and keep those arms straight. Once you've got those kind of ideas, you then just want to be able to have confidence in your guard, all right? You know, you want to practice your guard. I like to do rolling drills, especially recommending them to my students, where say you pick a buddy and you say, all right, you try to pass my guard, and then if they get past, you just switch, okay? If you sweep them or submit them, you switch. If time runs out, you switch. And just practice that. Because at the end of the day, if James and I roll 10 times, no matter what happens in those rolls, the decision of who was gonna win really made itself known when someone passed the guard. If he gets past my guard, he should beat me. If I get past his guard, I should beat him. If he can't get past my guard, I should win. And if I can't get past his guard, he should win. So although it's boring just getting around people's legs, you know, it's actually super duper important and will lead to all those fun submissions that we want to do but don't really want our buddies doing to us. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, you can actually get our rash guards, t-shirts, everything now. The links are below. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I look forward to having more awesome videos for you guys and girls, and hopefully meeting you on the mat soon. Take care.